Means your dad can't have too many brewskis, I don't think.
Yeah, he'll have a bunch of Diet Cokes. He'll be good.
DDP's, baby. That's
DDPs.
actually probably even better.
Oh yeah, more stokage.
Fire away. All right, ready to do this?
Yes, I am.
All right, 2, 3, 4.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it!
All right, Evan. What
Yes.
are we stoked for the weekend? Are we stoked for arguably one of the best college football weekends of the year?
Yeah, man, I'm really pumped. This weekend's so stacked, and I mean, I can't complain about going to the Magnolia Bowl down in Oxford, Mississippi this weekend. But I am missing some good games along the way. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
I think Sunday, instead of watching NFL, I might just like rewatch college games.
Recap.
Yeah.
It could be like that episode. Was it How I Met Your Mother or like Friends, where like they put blinders on and walk around and try not to listen to any scores of like the Super Bowl the next
Yeah.
day? That'll be you
Yep.
come Sunday.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'm the game I'm going to, LSU Ole Miss, is the same time as Iowa. So I'm sure that one I won't be able to, you know.
You're not gonna hold your phone while you're also
No,
in the
no.
stadium.
I
Yeah.
think I'll be too locked in, but I definitely, every moment I can, I'll be checking what's going on for sure. But
We'll get back to that game.
yeah, we certainly will.
Let's recap. We don't have a line Bob this week. I I
He's
think
busy
he's
feeding
licking
our
his
country, man.
he's feeding our country. He's in the fields, but I think he's also licking his wounds a little bit. I
Bear,
think
that's the
that's
take.
Illinois knows how to take big losses. I don't know what that's about. But
Yeah,
they when the floodgates open, the floodgates open, and I think we start there.
sure.
Um,
Yeah,
One of the stats that I liked was Indiana had 312 yards to Illinois' net two.
yep.
So not usually that's not a recipe to win the football game. Robbie's take from this game, in quotations, error 404, file not found. So Bobby didn't have much to say. I think at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, we have an avid listener, John Robertson, who he's been with us since our college radio days.
Wow.
He's been listening. Yes, I know. I think we used to
Thank you,
send him the
Mr.
link.
Robinson.
Robertson, yeah.
You idiot! You come to our house, you get my wife's name right!
He's been a lock and he's a big Hoosier fan.
Yep.
So if you've been, I don't know how much you watched Indiana football prior to their heyday right now, but probably feels good at the end of the day. I like watching them from a basketball standpoint, but
Yeah,
right now football is the magic number, the one to watch.
man.
I'm
Yeah.
and we got them next week, so I can't be
Yep.
talking too much of a big game here because hopefully the home field advantage will throw them off at the end of the day. But we'll get into that.
I mean, on since we started with
Yeah,
Illinois, Indiana, I mean, it's just like Cignetti has a way of doing this, man. He like if he finds a weakness, he will go after it and he will not stop. Like he's the most like just ruthless coach I've ever seen. He's he's been confident from the start. Like I've never seen a coach do this, especially at the losingest program of all
yeah.
time.
I was about to
It's
say he feels like a UConn basketball coach, whoever they're. I'm blanking
oh,
on his.
yep. Dan, why am I blanking on his name right now?
We'll throw it up in the post edit here. Uh,
Yeah.
he is real. I feel like if Indiana's coach actually had the firepower to, if he had a good team, which he'll eventually move on from Indiana, in my opinion, you
Yeah.
know, I we
Good. I
could.
mean,
He's in playoff. I mean, he's already been in playoffs. He's a national championship kind of caliber guy.
yeah.
Um, so it'll be interesting. I mean, there's no way he sticks at Indiana for too much longer.
You wouldn't think so, but he is already like I can't believe he's already 63. Like he's been
Yeah.
coaching for such a long time. Like, does he just like stick it out there and get a statue, you know? Like I think because he's older, there's a more of a chance that he would. Whereas like, a guy like Dan Lanning, if he was there, he'd probably bounce somewhere else. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a chance he stays just because he's old. But um, you know, I also could see someone paying him too much money to stay. So
I feel like there's so many programs right now that are like some SEC program that's willing to shell out the cash. You could look at,
Wisconsin even shit. I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
yeah, even in the Big Ten, it's pretty remarkable what he's done to flip a program like that so quickly. But that's the nature of where we're at too. I'm not saying it's easier to flip programs. I just think that you can flip programs if you have the right funding.
Yeah.
And I
And
think but that's maybe not an example of that, but
yeah, and on the Illinois side of that game, they got beat bad, but I think Signetti said it best. Like I think they just broke their will.
yeah.
Like I don't think they're as bad as losing 63-10. I think you'll probably knowing the Beetle, you'll probably see a better output this week at
Yeah.
home against USC. But
Which I laugh about because at the end of the day, breaking somebody's will is kind of like that's cruel. Like that's like I just picture like Bane snapping Batman's back.
Ah, yes. I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit? Oh, your body.
yes.
And
Yes.
breaking his will, which is like that's like somehow way worse than like, oh well, we beat them on scheme. No, we beat them by breaking the will.
Yep. Just mentally destroyed them. Yeah.
All right, Iowa Rutgers. F Dog was at my casa for this. We had a nice little watch party on the roof.
It was a great time. Yeah.
I'll tap into the mind of Iowa Bob, Illini Bob, in this case, Iowa Bob. Baby DeJean, as he calls him, looked awesome. Can't believe Shiano kicked to him right out the gate. A little Devin Hester-esque.
Yes, it
Gronowski continues to look better. Lots of drops. Really fun game from an observer. Not the script everyone thought it would go by, especially Bob, who lost his under pretty quickly, or at least the hope of his under pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go for it, Alex. What do you know?
I get what Bob's saying there all around. I like the Baby DeJean comments. I would say he's probably faster straight line, right, than DeJean, but like maybe not as shifty.
Yeah.
But no, anyways, I've never seen a kick return where it's literally just like grab the ball and run straight. Like the blocking was so good on that too. But yeah, I mean, really just a fun game. I think as Iowa fans, we haven't seen a game like that since I don't even know, man. Like even when we were in college, it felt like we still won like a lot of grinded out type games. This one just Iowa being in a shootout and being able to come out on top like on a Friday night. It was just a lot of fun to watch. Like we finally got an entertaining game as a fan, and I think that was what I took away from it, really.
I think I think a big thing is what you're saying here is like a shootout that went that high into the scoring is like something you just never see for Iowa. We either beat the team pretty handsomely or just even by like 10, or it's just a low scoring, not a lot of offensive action, and you just hope the defense can hold.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how you just play to the score that it is. And in my opinion, Iowa shouldn't have won that game. If you watch the game back, I mean, were we down? Was it, it's been too long now. Was it like 10 points that we were down at one point?
I don't think we were ever down 10. We got down
maybe just a touchdown
because we were tied. I think the most we got down was 7 because we were tied at half. Then we went up 3.
Yeah.
And they got a touch. So 4 at the but to your point, like when they went up 4 in the fourth quarter, I was like, we're not gonna put together a game winning drive. Like that's just not what we do.
No, that's just not we
We got a bit of a break. I mean, it was a defensive pass interference, kind of set us up, and then we had that deep shot. Um, and just kudos to like we've had a lot of drops from the receivers this season. Like that was as good of a catch as I've seen from Iowa in a long time. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I
but
mean that Iowa made the plays that they needed to win that game, but at the end of the day, I just don't think, based on a normal Iowa formula, we lose that game, which
I
is fun that we won.
I from your lens,
It's fun.
from your lens, how you describe that, I totally agree. Like it took Herkett blocking that field goal. That was huge.
Yep.
I think it was interesting. I don't know. Maybe we could reference this at some point. Like pop up a graphic from his name's Kelly Ford. I don't know if you've ever looked at his
Is it
stuff.
like those win probability?
Yeah, well, it's like net success rate. And so it's like every matchup every week. And I won't explain it too
Okay.
much, but it's just like the the main question on the graphic is did we really get beat that bad? And it'll basically show you like who should have won and by how much based on like how every single play went.
Yeah.
And Iowa was quite a bit higher than Rutgers, which kind of surprised me because I thought the same as you. Whereas like I don't think didn't feel like we should have won that one.
Yeah.
But I think play by play, I think mostly like our offensive line, just like being able to get 5 yards every time,
Yeah.
that kind of like play by play, we actually did have more success. But in a game like that, Iowa usually doesn't win it. And it was just surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to just a casual fan being like, "Oh yeah, it didn't look like we win that. We should have won that game." But I mean, there's those. I mean, the offensive line's an easy one to be like, you're not watching offensive line highlights, day in
Oh,
and day
yeah, I
out.
know. Yeah, exactly.
It's easy to kind of forget how important or crucial, or and just like little facts about the game that Iowa is just much more has a better foundation at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I think once they got that pick at the end, it's like the offensive line was just like salivating, just like,
Yeah.
oh, now we're going to take these guys over.
Yeah, now
And
we do Iowa ball. Now
yeah,
we run the clock. We run. We get the big hogs up front. So,
yep. But
um,
yeah, fun game for sure.
all right. Let's talk a few more, and then let's try to keep it on moving. Just
Yeah.
Michigan, Nebraska. Fun to see Michigan beat them. I respect Michigan putting up a good team every year, and they, even if they've had a kind of a rough start, beat Nebraska on the road in one of the hardest stadiums in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, and you look at Bryce Underwood's passing numbers, he didn't do a whole lot in that sense, but he was able to, I mean, he is so athletic. And I think I said this a little bit last week, like Cincinnati against Nebraska, they kind of had him on the ropes a little bit at times where the quarterback was able to just make plays with his feet. It's kind of what happened in that game. Um, Dylan Raiola actually looked really good. I think he kept Nebraska in that game um, for the whole time, but it wasn't. I mean, it was an awesome environment in Lincoln. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but impressive. I think impressive win for Michigan, honestly, to pull that out. And um, yeah, you got to love Biff Poggi. That guy. I do want to see. I know he's in Michigan now. I would love to see him with just like a big old cutoff on like he used to
Yeah.
have at Charlotte. Just
Yeah.
let it hang.
Yeah. Let the big man breathe.
Yeah.
And that was what Robbie took away from it too. Protect Biff Poggi at all costs. Good looking coach. Let it breathe. Michigan came to prove it, and they won. So
They did.
I think we're all on the same side. All right, let's flip. Unless you got anything else from last week, might be about time to start flipping to looking at week 5.
I just want to share a quick note on, sometimes it's even more fun to watch your friends' bets play out than it is your own. I don't know
Yeah.
if you agree with this, but I placed a bet for a friend who I won't name, anonymous friend.
Yep.
$500 on the Oklahoma Auburn game on the
You
spread.
put
500 bones. Yes. Which,
so
yeah,
you're naturally, you have to take a nice little bathroom break before placing $500.
exactly.
Even if you have
yeah.
it in writing, it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. I got to move some money around.
Yes. And they were up 5 and like Auburn was on a, last minute drive to try and go win it. And They get 2 consecutive sacks, the last one being in the end zone. That did the cover right there, the 6.5 cover.
29. Throw a Hail Mary towards Cam Coleman. He goes down to the end zone, a safety.
On that
That's
play, and it
just-
was just like they didn't need it. Didn't need
Yeah.
to happen. It did.
That would have just kneeled out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just like one of the more electric covers I've ever seen. And I'm glad he
Yeah.
was on the right side of it.
Yeah, I feel like I would be like, hey, do you want to cash out? Do you want to? Well, at that point,
Right.
you know, it's not.
At
gonna
that point,
work,
he wasn't
but,
gonna. Yeah, I was like, dude, you're screwed.
That's electric.
Yeah.
I love that. Speaking of my bets from last week, I bet against the public, which I'll continue to do this week. And I went, weirdly enough, I went 2.5 out of 5. So 2 wins, 2 losses, and a push. So I lost money because of Vegas, you know, their costs. But we're gonna pony back up. But yeah, they got 2 wins, which is the first out of all. Of course, when I start betting it is when, you know, people start catching on or something like that. But you know,
Absolutely.
we'll go back to bat. We'll see how it plays out here. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting. All right, let's talk real quick. Illinois USC. Let me get in the mind of Bob real quick.
Yep.
Nice big. I mean, before we do that, real quick, Robbie mentioned that what was it like? No spreads over double digits for the Big Ten this week or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the first time. I don't know if we ever got to the bottom of the exact.
We'll have the
amount of time.
statistical analysis right here in post hens, but yeah.
Yes, it's been a really long time since, there hasn't been a double-digit Big Ten spread on the week, which is so we got really competitive games across the league.
And when I heard that, I said, oh, that must mean that, the Big Ten is flattening out in terms of talent. Like, oh, it's like even. But in my opinion, it's probably just good matchups rather.
Good matchup. Yeah, yeah. Like there's some bad versus bad. I think, isn't it Northwestern UCLA maybe? I think that might be one.
That's like a toilet bowl. That's good.
But then you also have some awesome, and it also like the home fields kind of land in the right place because I feel like, if I was playing at Indiana, they might be like a 10-point dog. They're 7.5, I think, right now. So yeah.
All right, Illinois USC. USC will be kicking off at 9 a.m. their time, USC time. So it's an early riser game. I don't know how coaches typically, that's where you got to get out fast. USC's got a lot of injured players. First big noon kickoff for Illinois. Bob is also saying it's a coin flip game. Key will be the O-line. See if they can really get it together. Rumor mill has a few USC players as questionable. So I think there's going to be a lot that we'll find out day of. I like Illinois at home coming off a loss. They got the shit beat out of them. I don't know if it's worth grambling on, but I think, Illinois should have a little bit more spark. I mean, if you get trounced or your will broken, and Bert's not the kind of guy who's just going to want to, I'm sure it's been a hell of a practice week, or at least mentally it's been a hell of a practice week. So I can't imagine Illinois losing this one, but who knows?
Yeah. It's kind of like this determines the rest of their year. I feel like it's like a gut check time for them. So I'm kind of on the same side. I'm a little bit thinking about Illinois to cover at least. I think, one interesting stat is that USC has, I know they have the most sacks in the Big Ten, potentially in the country. But it seems like the teams they're playing, they're throwing the ball like 40 times a game against them. So I know Illinois had 2 rushing yards last week, which is really bad. That counts sack yards too, though. If they can establish some sort of running game, if maybe they really focused on that this past week, I like Illinois' chances a lot. If they can not have to throw for 40, 50 times, I think, USC won't be able to pin their ears back and get to the QB. So
all right. I think now we go back to Iowa, Indiana. I liked Robbie's takes of this, where it's just Iowa needs to control the ball, which at home I think we're pretty good at. Keep it out of Mendoza's hands. Indiana, he was saying that Indiana did an excellent job exposing a weak O line. So, I do think Gronowski is going to have some trouble, maybe with just a more diligent defense. Their offense is going to be, I feel like, a lot better. I think there's just going to be a lot more. I'm glad we didn't have Indiana last week. We needed this win, but I think I could see the ball. If we get ahead early, it's going to be a typical Iowa football game.
Yeah.
Or else it's just going to be a blowout. So
I know, man. It really feels like to me Iowa wins close, or they get beat by like 20 plus. That's how it feels to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Bob's got he's got a good beat on it. That's exactly, the game plan. I think it's a huge O-line, a huge Tim Lester game. I think Tim Lester has to really scheme up and be very clever with how he attacks this defense all game. I feel confident about how Mark will play. I think he'll probably miss some throws, but he's also playing a lot more confident. He'll be able to run the ball for 50 yards, probably a touchdown or two. So yeah, I mean, you kind of gotta. I'm not saying it's gonna you have to play like you did against Ohio State in 2017 to win, but I'm thinking like big turnover early that you turn into points, and then you just kind of like let Kinnick unfold around him. Like
it's an Iowa football. You have to. I think it's got to be an Iowa football game.
You have to keep that crowd tempo up the whole time and keep them in the game, because that's your biggest edge, I think. Is
what time is the game?
It's at 2:30 Central.
That'll be good. And a nice fall day. I feel like it'll be cooled off in Iowa City.
Yep.
The Busch Lights will be flowing from like a really good 7, 8 a.m. to 2:30. Hopefully we can max out on that and feel us to a nice raging stadium.
And the last thing I'll add regarding the crowd is like Iowa. It's crazy. Iowa used to be kind of known as like where ranked teams go to die, is at Kinnick, right?
Yeah.
They haven't had a ranked team for over 3 years now. When they played Michigan, JJ McCarthy's Michigan. Yeah.
They haven't had a ranked team.
Haven't had a ranked team at that time, at the time of the game. In the stadium. So they haven't had a lot of ranked wins at home, but they also haven't had ranked games at home. So I think Kinnick's very hungry for a game like this to prove themselves. Yeah.
And it's Indiana versus Iowa I don't think has much historical relevance. So it's interesting. We can hate on Indiana. That works for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you talk your game, Ole Miss LSU. What do you know?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of storylines on this one. Since I decided to go to this game this weekend, I've kind of dove into the scene a little bit on Ole Miss podcasts and stuff, and I didn't realize how big of a rivalry this is. Like, these guys really do hate. It's not the biggest rivalry in the SEC by any means, but it's up there. These guys don't like each other.
It's Mississippi. It's like one poor state versus another poor state, and they're using their two brain cells to go at each other.
An idiot. Are you an imbecile? Are you stupid? And that is not the right word for that. The right word for that is Cajun.
Yeah.
Tiger versus a train.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. I think it's going to be, you got the LSU defense that has looked really good. The offense hasn't looked great. Ole Miss has kind of flip-flopped on that. They've gotten scored on a decent amount by other SEC teams they've played, like Kentucky and Arkansas, but their offense looks great. You got Lane Kiffin calling plays, so it usually does. Yeah, man, I think it's going to be a really good game. A lot of people I see it's a toss-up, like 1.5 point spread. But a lot of people I see are taking Ole Miss. So I think I would lean that way too. I'm not so sure. I think it's going to be a total toss-up.
Yeah. I'm weirdly taking the Tigers
Fair.
on this one. I'm not going to throw money on it, but I do think that, yeah, it does. I just don't think Ole Miss ever really puts too big of a program together.
Yeah.
Whereas like LSU, I feel like is at least building up some momentum right now.
Yep.
So that's why I like the Tigers there. It's not going to be a hard travel game for them, in the sense that they're just going around the corner. Their fans are going to travel. It's going to be a rowdy place down. What town is it in? I don't even.
It's in Oxford, Mississippi, and
Yep.
the place they tailgate's called the Grove. It's just a big
Yes.
tree grove. And I actually found out too. I didn't realize this, which most people listening probably do know, but the players actually walk through the Grove on their way to the stadium, which is like they're going through all these drunk ass people. Like it's just crazy to me that they do that.
I like some
pretty
tradition
awesome.
like that. Yeah,
It's
that's
cool.
gonna be
Yeah.
great. What
Yeah.
time do you think you'll get into Oxford?
I think we'll get in. I think we'll probably get on campus around 10:30, 11. So we'll have, a couple hours before the game to sink in and check out the scene. It's red out, so I got to find me a red shirt somewhere.
Oh, a red. Why? Okay, yeah, not the
Yep.
baby blue out or anything like that.
Yeah, red. And then the only other thing I'll say on this one is it's been a big week for Lane Kiffin and his family. He just had a documentary about like his life released on ESPN yesterday.
That's crazy.
And then his daughter hard launched on Instagram with the linebacker Whit Weeks at LSU. So there is a lot going on. I don't know if Lane
Where does she? What established university?
She goes to Ole Miss. She goes to Ole Miss. Yeah. So I don't know how they got together or how this happened, but
Daddy issues. I mean, that's what it's about. I'm not saying anything. It just seems like that is the only I mean, if you're gonna do that of the week of the game,
I mean, it's like it's surprising, but the way Lane Kiffin
for
takes
Lane
to
Kiffin,
Twitter,
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, like, do you think she consulted him? Like, hey, should I post this right before the LSU game? Like,
there's some bad things going on, is all I know. If
they might be engagement farming a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some bad juju going on if you're posting that the week of the game.
Yeah.
Just because of just like publicity that that's already going to go to.
Yeah. But I don't know. It makes the game more interesting for us plebes sitting in the stands or on our couches.
So you're flying into UOX Airport.
Actually, no. We
you're
that
not.
thing is
okay.
Yeah, it's packed to get in there. We're flying into Elvis's hometown, where he was born, Tupelo, Mississippi.
We're going to Tupelo, honey. All right, hold on. Everybody wait while I look up the airport code.
I think it's about 45, 50-minute drive.
You're flying into TUP, baby.
TUP. Nice.
Now, are you going to take is there a bus or a car that's going to get you? Or
we're getting like a shuttle, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
To ride you right into the Grove, baby.
Right into the Grove.
Yeah, I could see on a game day where UOX is probably pretty busy.
Yep. Yeah, I know it's going to be crazy, but I don't think I'm fully realizing what I'm stepping into here. So I'm pretty excited to check it out.
For next pod, stay tuned. Evan will have some really high def video that he has pledged for us.
It'll just be the B-2 bomber flying over.
Yeah, it's just like a fuzzy image of that.
Yeah. But
all right, let's tidy up here. 2 more big games. I mean, there's a ton of big games, but I
just got the 10-minute warning on my Zoom. So.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. Oregon, Penn State. That one's at Penn State, correct?
Yeah, that's their quote unquote whiteout, which they haven't lost in a while. Their night game, everyone wears white, and it's considered.
Loud. I mean, I think it's one of the best ones in college football.
It is nuts. It is absolutely nuts. Yeah,
I prefer a North powerhouse football game, and I think that's probably one of the toughest ones that you can go play in.
Yep.
But I mean, Penn State is my favorite team of falling apart. Like I would always bet, statistically, I feel like you could just bet against them and do pretty good. I think Robbie's got an upset happening. I don't know where they're going to put their massive duck around there. I don't know what bodies of water are around there, but
put it on a mountain nearby or something.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the Penn State isn't going to win this one. I think the home field advantage is probably enough to get them over the edge, but it's either going to be tight or I think it's going to be an Oregon dub here. I just think Penn State falls apart in these. You know what? I'm going to say Oregon's actually going to win because Penn State falls apart in big games. They never won big games.
Fair. Yeah.
Oregon's a newer one to this, like, it used to just be Ohio State or Michigan that they were going to lose to, but now, I think they trounce, small teams, but big teams, who knows? We'll see. New year.
Yeah, Penn State has just played a cupcake schedule so far. So I think Oregon's path to victory is like early and often. Like, they get points on the board. They could score quick. Like, you've seen it all year. They can score. I think that's their thing, is like, if they can get 2 quick scores to start the game, I think Penn State could.
They need an opening kickoff tutty.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, like, where I'd probably lean. I'm probably leaning Penn State on this, actually.
Veteran team. They have a lot of.
I think they're going to surprise some people. I feel like, I don't want to say they've been holding back. I don't want to give them too much credit, but this feels like, like, if they're not going to play up to it now, it's kind of like, when are they? I could totally see Oregon. I'm not going to bet on this one, though. I could totally see them coming in, and they look really good so far. So,
and then lastly, Georgia Bama. Historical. It had a lot of significance. I think this year it's definitely died down a little bit. But what do you know on this?
Yeah, Georgia. I don't think they've played. That you always think this game gets played every year. In like previously, but it really doesn't. I don't think they've played at Georgia since like Derrick Henry was on the team, which has been a long time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I think, especially how I don't know. I think in these types of games, the last year's result matters a lot, actually. And just like the motivation.
It's
for the game.
like a punch back. It's back and forth.
I got Georgia. And, this might actually, if of these games, this would probably be the closest to my lock. I really like Georgia at home in this one. I just think Kirby Smart has a lot to prove, especially against an Alabama team that definitely has some holes. So, I like Georgia in this one.
I like Georgia too, but, who knows? Anything else you want to tap in here, Ev?
I don't think I have much else, man. Where are you going to be enjoying these beautiful college football games?
I might be enjoying these football games up in the mountains, I think.
Good stuff.
Do a little off-road into an Iowa football game. Why not?
You got the fall foliage. That's how I did it last week. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's a nice way to kind of put those things together.
Yeah.
I'll stay dehydrated, piss yellow for the Hawks, and it'll be a good weekend. So
that's what they say, man.
Well, safe travels down to the Grove. Say hi to Elvis's childhood home for me. I'm sure it's just a shack in the woods. And I guess go Tigers and go Hawks.
Yeah, hotty toddy.
All right.
Fire away. All right, ready to do this?
Yes, I am.
All right, 2, 3, 4.
Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.